Hello, everyone. This is Dale of D.Harden Art, and I'm here doing some art tonight. So, welcome to anyone who joins. Well, no one's here yet, so I guess no one's joined yet. But welcome when you do join. And for those who review this later, please enjoy. So, I did a little warm-up sketch before I started. Oh my gosh! Look at my desk. Yay! This was just cheap copy paper. It's just a little piece of paper. A couple of weeks ago, you might remember I did a warm up of a maid, very untrustworthy looking maid, and so I thought, well, tonight's warm up, maybe I'll just do like a sloppy butler because this guy looks pretty sloppy. His 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 collar is going off his shoulder. So for the sketch, I use the Kuretake red, and I also use the Kuretake cartoon brush. So let me open these up. That was surprisingly hard. So the Kuretake, is that focusing? Come on, focus on something. Looks like it's not focused on the computer, but maybe if I get closer to the guy. Better? So anyway, that's the brush head for the cartoon brush. And this is the brush head for the red. As a friend of mine just pointed out recently, they're nearly identical, which is so weird because the lines you get from them are quite different. Let me show you real quick. Why? So with the cartoon brush, I find you can get really super, well, here, let me dab a little bit first. Ooh, hang on. Time for an ink check. Oh, I'm out of ink. Okay, this may be a super fine line, but yeah, you can go pretty fine with a light touch and then go pretty heavy. And you can do wide areas, which actually should be wider. And then with the red, same idea. If you it's got a different consistency to the head there. See, slightly thicker. It's a little bit harder to get that fine line, and I can't quite get the same width. See how wide those are? I'm pressing pretty hard here. Can't quite get the same width. That other brush is just a little bit loosey. Loosey? Loosey goosey. Oh, and then when you press hard, something like that happens where your tip just becomes all like mangled. So I just kind of get it back into form. Also, it sort of flattens out. Again, you probably can't see it too well on the video, but if you use it this way and you turn it slightly, you'll get a nice thin line again because, oops, because it actually sort of flattened out when I was using it. So I turn it sideways to get that thin line again. Kind of neat. Little tip for you for people who want to start using brushes. So, well, darn. So for some more exciting live streaming, let me, because I do plan on using the cartoon brush today. So let's do a quick change. This is number 20. Oh gosh, I forget what's in here. It's either the 19 or the 20. I like to try to keep it the same. Yeah, 20. We're good. So pretty simply just pull that out and get ink on yourself. There's still just a little bit in there. You know what? Let me just use it out. That was lovely. And then I'll pop this one in probably midstream. I hate to throw it out. I don't like wasting. Okay, now that I just did that, let me grab a... Look, I matched my table. Yeah, okay, some thin lines, but I think it's going to run out pretty soon. I had some pretty good ink there, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'll keep this guy around for a blotter. Here you go, mister. And this is dry now. Not like it makes a difference. So we'll be doing a Raising Cain page today. I started the penciling on Sunday when oh yeah. So for those of you who didn't see my Sunday like impromptu little 20-minute thing, I got a new camera. So this is all new. It's high res. It's 1080p or 1080. I get that mixed up. 1080. So I did notice in my test on Sunday, you'll notice those lines that sort of like go up the are far less. This is much better sync or at least a frame rate, and it seems to minimize the effect of the LED light bulb. I keep saying that I'm going to go get a new light bulb. That means I have to go like the store and buy one, an incandescent, regular incandescent bulb, so we can probably just get rid of this line altogether because that's what's causing it. In fact, I know a lot of YouTubers use LED lights, so I don't know exactly why they don't seem to suffer that same issue. So on Sunday, I started this up, and I did the basic blue lines, and then earlier, well, yesterday and today, I wherever it is, I think I left it in my scanner. Yes, I did, of course. Funny, once I'm done with some art, I just leave it where it sits. I did the penciling, wrapped up the penciling this afternoon and scanned it in. I even changed this bottom one down here, which actually looks more cartoony than if I had done it the standard way. But I'll take some care when I do the inking. So we'll be inking today. All right, here we go. Now this first frame is sort of a transition sort of effect. John has got to sort of pivot around. So I sort of have him half upright where where we left off in the last page. In the last page, the guys behind him grabbed his vest. Well, at least this guy behind him grabbed his vest. And as you can see, it's a dark setting, so I'm using a lot of extra shading in there. Anton's got that page now, and he's working on it. I've got page 6, and I should be able to get that live on Patreon tomorrow, probably. I got to fix the text on it. And so as you can see, John has to kind of flip around to get out of this situation he's in. So he will flip around. The vest will end up at the end of his arms, and he can trap the guy. We'll just call him the guy right now because you guys don't know who he is. Oh, that's so funny. I just can't stop looking at my hand now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ink this with the pen first. And I'm actually not going to use the... This is really messy looking. I warmed up. Actually going to use just a micron for the pre-flip. So as you can see, I'm getting a little bit of bleed on the paper, which kind of sucks for the paper. Well, it sucks for me. The paper does that. I really don't like that when that happens. I think it's kind of a combo of a little bit extra ink on the pen and a weak spot in the paper. Because if I do this up here, I don't see any bleed. But I'm back down here, bleed. So here we go. Okay. So here's his neck. What do you call that muscle group up at the shoulders there? I don't remember what you call that. And any regular viewers from before probably remember I get a little sketchy sometimes. You saw the little flicks here, which is a kind of a bad habit. One of the reasons, oopsie, one of the reasons I wanted to use the cartoon pen today, because it's got that looser feel to it, and it really does well with fabric. It's probably a little too thick for his shirt. I would usually use a micron for doing the shirt. But you can see, because it's so loose, I don't have to worry about extra thick lines. As long as I just keep it light on the paper. Let's make his little elbow there. It's nice and smooth. Let's see. I was just about to just keep going with that pen. But for line control, I definitely like this pen better. Oh, guess what? At the bottom of his nose, let's give him a little bit of shadow below his ear. And then there's the other arm. So right here, this area right in here is actually just skin. Okay. As my friend Rob likes to say, there's his moob, his man boob. There's some things that are in front of other things, so I'm going to kind of take care of those first. Oh. He came in with magazine, whatchamacallit, pouches on his belt. We saw that two pages ago. Well, you will see that 2 pages ago. Okay. And you see what happened there? Sometimes if you're not really watching your pen, your brush, I was using my hand to get to that new position there to finish off that flap, but the pen didn't, or the brush didn't cooperate. So I got this line here in the middle, a little line over there. I'll just kind of fix that with the white a little bit later on. See? The fabric lines just don't quite come out as good with this pen. Okay, now let's go back up here where his shirt was. Nice thin line. See, it didn't bleed. Ugh, gosh. That was definitely my hand that time. Okay. 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 You should have a jaw shadow over here too. Probably wouldn't hurt to do like a little. See, let's just bleed again. So this area right here, for some reason, is like a danger zone. When it dries a little bit more, I'll take my white pen and I'll just clean up some of those spots, like right at the end of the nose there. See, I don't know. Actually, could you see it? This camera is way better than the one I was using last week, but I'm still not sure where it's focusing. Looks like it's focusing right about there. So I'm not sure you can actually see those little bleedy lines. I'll use the white pen in a little while. Okay. Oops, let's do this. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna have to use that white pen now. Let me fix that flap, because what's going to end up happening is the black under his shirt is going to overlap with that zone. So that's a little black area there. Let me give this a little more shadow up here. More underarm shadow. Okay, so I know there's going to be a shadow down here. Now, go to my, oops, sorry about that. Also on the test on Sunday, I realized that adhering the camera to the table here would shake like a giant earthquake every time I did a pen stroke. It's kind of unfortunate. So I now anchored the wait a minute, hang on. His part's on the other side. Sorry. Sometimes you just gotta pay attention to what you're doing. Actually, let's do some more of the black. I anchored it to the cabinet next to me, so it's not shaking around except if I bump it with my arm. So sorry about that. I bumped it with my arm a few moments ago. Okay, I'll use my trusty old Sharpie to cover the big areas, because Sharpies are good at that. As discussed in a previous video, I believe, for those of you who are like aghast at me using a Sharpie, I of course end up scanning this. Black is black. in a scan. So some artists will probably tell you something like, well, Sharpies will bleed if you try to like color over them. I'm not going to color over this. And they'll say it's a blue or black, which I guess that's kind of true. It's blue or black, but I'm actually working on a page now that's, well, all printed blue. So it doesn't really show when I'm using it in this particular context. Let me get the micron. Okay. There's his belt. We got the pants. I should put some more wrinkles on the shirt. Okay. Clean that up over there a little bit. Almost forgot he's got to have wrinkles over there. Huh? Okay. All right. I think I'll leave that for the moment. Oops. Let's have him looking at what he's doing here. Okay. Am I still in the middle? That's kind of the middle. Okay. Always something else to kind of try to figure out here. There should be a... There we go. Now I'm going to use the same pen. Because it's sort of like a past version of him, like that just happened a moment ago, I'm actually not going to fill it in very tightly. Not a lot of detail. When Anton colors it, you'll know. He'll make it kind of ghostly, like it's supposed to be. He's looking over that way. Did you hear that? The wire to my headset just fell. Made a sound in my ear. I'm not sure if you guys heard that. Oh, did I just do that? Yep, I just did that, didn't I? Wasn't paying attention to my own line mark. Because you can see I really just kind of sketched the penciling pretty heavily there. Now, some of you were probably saying, gosh, he's really muscular. I've kind of covered in other videos that, they work out a lot on the ship. Because when you're just kind of flying around delivering cargo, you probably don't have a ton to do during the day. Only so many movies or books you can read or movies you can watch. Okay. So the hard part is sort of have to do a transition line, but it could risk looking pretty dumb if I do it wrong. You see, I have the lines kind of sketched out here, but let's see if I can do this. See, that shows the progression of action. He flipped, so that's the progression of the action there. I think I even had one down here. I've seen better. Okay. Now it's time for this suit. We'll call him a suit. Oops, sometimes this comes unscrewed. That's better. Sometimes it's hard not to hold this like a pencil. I don't know exactly where I got that habit from. Guy's got his risky business sunglasses on. There we go. He has sort of a turned up nose a little bit. And he's a little bit surprised, so his mouth is kind of like, duh. What just happened? So here's the edge of my panel line right here, so I don't have to go very far over it. His tie, his overcoat, which that's a weird line. And ooh, another like bleeding spot there. Again, I'm not always sure I can blame the paper, but it definitely seems to be that little area there. It cleared up down here. That's a pretty clear line right down there. You see there, it bleeds out a little bit there when I got up here. Does anyone else have problems with paper bleed? If you do, let me know. I'm kind of curious what you do about it. Or, like me, do you just use the white pen to kind of clean them up? Or do you not run into that problem? And if so, what paper do you use? I'm curious. Do, do, do. I have some really scribbly lines over here. Right around this belt line. Oh, gosh. Inking lesson number 1. Turn your paper a lot. So that's that. And then there, that should do the trick. And not to make this more confusing, but I don't remember seeing a line there for his jacket, which should be back there. Yeah, let me switch over to the cartoonist brush for his wrinkles. See, you see how it kind of just this tip just sort of like just melts. And it gives me really good wrinkles. I'm actually kind of sorry I don't use that more often. Mainly because I forget. But you can lose control of it pretty quick, like you see those double little lines there. I'm going to make his jacket black, so I'm going to try not to make too much. Oh, I don't like that. I ruined that little line. That was such a nice little line, too. See, a little more loosey-goosey in the stroke. Definitely not as sharp a point when you get to the end like you do with the red pen. Okay, let me do that. So you can see where one of these fabrics ends and the other one doesn't. Fatten up the line around here so when I use a Sharpie I won't go over the edge. Okay. Cartoonist brush also leaves a little bit more ink behind. A little heavier on the ink. sharp lines in the middle. I think what I'm going to do is come back to this brush here and there we go. Cartoonist brush. Holding my breath. Trying to do those little lines. Because I'm getting a little bit more of that bleed going on right there. See that? It's very fuzzy right there. Okay. That turned out pretty good. Yeah, I wasn't actually planning on having a background for this panel. The focus is supposed to be on John. Okay. Okay. Panel 1. Yeah, believe it or not, a full page would probably only take me about maybe 2 hours. 3 hours, depending on the complexity. This one will probably be fairly complex because, again, I have a lot of various blacks I'm supposed to be doing. And there's actually a lot of figures who are mixing it up in here. So after John tangles up his arms, he's pulling them down. He's put his feet up here, you'll see in a second. So see, John has sort of dropped to the ground. Let's see. Oh gosh. He's dropped to the ground. He's got his feet on the guy's belly. That sketchiness I was talking about earlier. Just an old habit. Bad habit. So as you can see, he's got his feet up on his belly there. Oopsie, sorry. There you go. And he's going to hoist him up and over. So I'm sort of concentrating on John first. There. Ugh, a little sloppy. But it gets me there. In the end. I'll finish that with the Sharpie. Sharpie can't really go in these tight little areas, so let me kind of clear that out first. Dab. Let's see, let me finish off one leg, and then the second leg. His butt. There. Don't want to put my hand on the ink. Yeah, those of you that follow the comic probably come to realize that John gets himself in a lot of trouble. For the most part, just minding his own business. Bounty business and the things I was going to talk about in today's video was the future of Raising Cain. I love the story. I created the story years ago. I started posting this immediately on comic communities. So I gave it a little slower start than I should have. Because when you're posting on those communities, you sort of are afforded the time to tell the story over, several weeks. So issue number 1 went kind of the way it should have. Issue number 2 went sort of the way it should have. Issue number 3 is probably where I started. I hate to say stall, but sort of like draw things out a little bit. Because there's a lot to introduce. There's more than one bad guy that runs throughout the series. And then sorry about this. And then the story kind of has a complicated middle. Because that was weird. I swear I was making a like a little sweep, but it just went straight up. Hmm. Um, what was I saying? About yeah, because as John discovers what his past secrets are, it's going to affect people around him. So I'm not talking about the crew. I'm talking about like people who may have been associated with him before, who may know something about the secrets or maybe not. Because as the people who want to get to the bottom of the secrets, yeah, I'm just gonna, whoa, that's kind of a weird looking hand. They're not going to care who they hurt or injure or whatever. So the story can actually go on for quite some time. It's not like it's an epic. It's a space opera. The story will have different chapters. It's going to be black in there because there's too much, not a lot of light in this place they're in. Now, I really should be using a Sharpie for this. I'm being lazy right now and using my nice brush pen for just filling. Okay. Multiple chapters is what I started to say. And they were essentially in chapter 1 now. Getting their footing, trying to figure out what the world is around them. John has to figure out why people are after him. Since his memories are gone, that makes it really hard. If he had his memories, he'd probably have a pretty good idea. I'm sure he'd have a good idea. But he's got to investigate, kind of like a good old like mystery. Elle is right there alongside of him, investigating. Because she doesn't know what it is. She'll even admit that she has not been a crew member all that long. So she didn't know him in his earlier part of his life. And you all know, if you've been reading the book, she's got some secrets too. At the end of issue 6, she's doing something kind of shady. But no one knows exactly what. Okay. I think in this case I can actually afford to just throw in a lot more black. So the future of the comic. So I've been doing this for about a year and a half now. And I'm not, I wouldn't say gaining a lot of momentum. I was kind of hoping I could, through social media, that this would gain more traction. And again, in part, it's probably my fault for not making the story a little bit faster paced. On the other hand, it also just may not be a story people are that interested in. Maybe again, because maybe I didn't capture their imagination. Or maybe just a kind of a sci-fi thriller thing isn't quite what people are looking for right now. Superheroes are, once again, kind of like top on everybody's charts. Ooh, did you see that? With this dull Sharpie, I was able to color in a little corner there. That was kind of funny. I don't know if you caught that. If you're watching this later, roll it back a few seconds. Take a look at that. Okay. So, what am I going to do about Raising Cain? I don't want to give it up, but I need to get more attention to this channel and excuse me, and my Patreon, because I've said this many times, maybe not on YouTube, but I've said this many times before, that if I'm going to put these out faster, I'm going to need more help. As in, like, I can do the writing and the penciling, and maybe someone inks, or someone does the lettering, because, man, lettering takes a long time for me. And the word bubbles, I don't really like my word bubbles. They're the most basic use of Illustrator's ovals. Not really all that convincing as word bubbles. So I'll probably end up slowing down with Raising Cain. And then I've been teasing that Star Trek project for a while now. I'll probably work on that a little bit more. To be clear, I can't make any money on Star Trek. That's the property of CBS, Paramount. But Star Trek being as popular as it is might help me get some eyes on this project. Or if it's not in the cards, I've got superhero projects I can do. Some of the first comics I ever did were superheroes. Huh. I sort of gave him the double line there, which is really interesting. I think I'll just do that. Yeah, so I could do superheroes. I was teasing that. Ooh. Hold on here. Black, white, black, white. Okay, there you go. That was a weird little detail I had a hard time focusing on. Okay. Much smaller detail in this panel here, so back to the micron. Oops. I meant to blacken this in. Sometimes it helps for me to black out the shaded areas before I start my detail so that I don't accidentally start like detailing areas that should be black. with the micron. Okay. Oops, kind of missed with that one. All right, there we go. Use my number 1 for some of the background details. Oh, keep banging into the camera. So maybe that's not a great spot for it either. Yeah, horizon line. There will. Oh, actually, I'm not going to shadow that yet. I think I'll leave that for Anton. The light source should be coming from that way for the more or less. But these guys are so small. Oops. Wow, I really did that. With the one. What did I do? Oh, what was I thinking? I brought this off for the background. So here, bear with me a second while I do the scaffolding. They're in a construction zone. John has bad luck around construction zones. Issue 4, that bounty hunter with the construction mech chased him up and down the construction zone there at the Waypoint Orange Station. Issue 4 is still not available on Indie Planet because I have to fix some stuff on that too. See, I got a lot of stuff to fix. I've been procrastinating. It seems like I have as much to fix as I have to draw. So, okay. Oh, that's too skinny. Let me make this wider. That's better. Yeah, that's better. Oh, am I out of camera view? Turn my sheet upside down. I'm on a camera view, so you guys hear me just making sounds. Okay. Everybody knows what scaffolding looks like, but when I was drawing this, I started realizing, dang, I don't really know what scaffolding is made of. I know it sounds like a silly thing to say. It's pipes. It's pipes. Why are you asking that question? But on top of the pipes, you have boards people walk on. And in the corners of the pipes where the pipes meet, there's fixtures. Let me elaborate on that. Not fixtures per se. They are fittings that attach them together. Oh, not very visible, but there. It got me thinking. Is there like an industry where somebody makes all the parts for all the scaffolding somewhere? Is there a scaffolding supply store? Oh, dang it. Too much. Fix that with white too. That'd be hilarious. Hey Bob, I'm going to head down to the scaffolding supply store and pick up some more scaffolding material. Okay, Frank. Better take the big pickup. It's heavy stuff. Yeah, you get the point. Yep. I didn't exactly follow one of my lines there because the line was way over here for some reason. So I cannot believe it. I've done 2 panels in an hour. What? It's an hour already. Where did the time go? Um, there, one of those fittings. In fact, let me just do this real quick because it's probably like a single piece that they just kind of buy and they just kind of fit things into and send the pipes out in all different directions. And then before we go, I'm going to freehand this one for no good reason. I'm going to cross hatch underneath. Because like I said, there's boards under there. People have to walk on that stuff. And if you ever want to be entertained when it comes to scaffolding, check out, like go to YouTube and check out scaffolding or scaffolders in places like the Philippines or Malaysia or someplace like that. They build that stuff while they're walking on it. I mean, piece by piece, and it's bamboo. It's not metal like we're using pipes. They're using like bamboo, and the guy will pick up pieces and carry it over to the other side, and he'll put the pieces down. It's crazy. It's crazy to watch, and you're worried he's going to fall any second. One gust of wind, and that guy's done for, right? So, yeah, if you want to freak yourself out with that kind of stuff, go check that out. That was the line I was originally trying to make. Give a lip there. He's kind of surprised. The tie. There's a weird blank spot right in the middle of his leg. Does he have a hole in his leg? That was kind of weird. Not sure why it was there. And I'm going to fill this up, and I've got to walk the dog. Yeah, Bob, got to walk the dog. Exciting stuff. And since I don't think any of my Philippine friends are watching this, at least live, I got to hit the store tonight too and get some Christmas gifts for some of my extended family out there. So, oh, that looks terrible. I thought I just went to go fix it. It looks terrible. Why does it look so bad? Yeah, I'm going to do that. Let's carry that line across, and I don't think I'm going to need that line. There. I think that's the only way I'm going to fix it. I can, of course, touch it up a little bit with the white. Let's go back and say, oh, here's a little bit more there. Okay, wow. Okay, 2 panels. Well, we did talk a lot about other stuff, including the including the sloppy butler, who still looks wet. This is so funny. Like, I don't know. Can you see it? Yeah, you can see it right there. The streak there and a little, oops, looking at my camera, and a dot there. I don't think it is wet. It's a weird little shiny spot in the ink. Oops, stay there. And there we have it. So, dang. Okay, I got some more work to do on this. I'll probably get to it later tonight, maybe most likely tomorrow morning. I tend to get up early in the morning before I go to work, and I'll spend about an hour working on art or something. Evenings are a little tougher because, like I said, there's walking the dog, there's dinner, there's shopping, grocery shopping, or whatever. So I tend to get most of my extracurricular work done in the early morning, and so I'll probably work on this a bit more. Um, yes, it's probably taking me a little bit longer than it normally would because there's more black in the guy's suits, and I'm trying to do these contour lines, which is probably messing me up. A lot of times, I'm a minimalist when it comes to the inking, and that's mainly because Anton is just so darn super when it comes to his coloring. I just like to let him shine, and I don't do a lot of extra stuff. I really, you know, oh my gosh, if for some reason he ever like graduates college and gets a big job and he can't do this anymore, I'm gonna have to like rethink my strategy for penciling. So, having said that, thanks, Anton, if you watch this later. And thank you all for watching the live stream, hour 7. I will end as I always do. My social media stuff is in the description below. Please sign up for the Instagram. Follow me on Patreon. Follow me. Become a patron. Help me. Help me grow this because there's no way I'm going to be able to afford, you know, a letterer and even conceivably an inker unless I actually have some kind of income. So as I usually do, come on, you can focus, right? Come on, there it goes. So D.Harden art. There are my social medias. IndiePlanet.com for the comics. I'll have number 4, well, complete soon. Patreon.com/ Raising Cain. Redbubble.com / people / D.Harden art / shop. So you can buy related stuff to Raising Cain. I'll have more stuff on there too soon. And then Instagram.com / D.Hardenart. Facebook.com / groups. Oh, yeah, just click on it in the link below. And Raising Cain comic at gmail.com for any Raising Cain stuff. Would love to see if any fans out there are artists and would want to throw out fan art. I'd love to see that. And I'm going to be doing a graphic novel version of the first 4 issues at some point, and that would be kind of a fun thing to include is a fan art section. All right, everybody. Thanks. Have a great evening, and I will try to do this again next week. Okay. Thanksgiving's coming, so I will keep you up to date on what's happening. Next week should be just fine. The week after, I won't be able to. The week of Thanksgiving, I won't be able to broadcast. All right. Take care, everybody. Bye.